Hello, my name is Russell North and this is my channel. Today we're going to be talking about making films on your mobile phone. So we decided to make a short film. Here's some things that I think you should do before production starts. Try and keep your story basic and try and keep your story in your skill set. So we'd all like to have a story with aliens and buildings blowing up or loads of special effects, but if that's not something that you're good at or not something you've got the time to do, then maybe it'd be a good idea not to introduce that into your story. Something else to keep in mind while writing your script, keep your cast to bare minimum. Try not to introduce too many people into it because more people means more hassle. This is from my experience. I made a film a few years ago where we probably had about 40 people throughout the film, which doesn't sound a lot, but when you're trying to get a certain amount of people in the same place at the same time for free, it can be a challenge. I was quite fortunate, and most times if I arranged to do something, we managed to put it off at the end of the day, so we was lucky there. But you have to bear in mind that you could organise a location, which I'll talk about in a minute. You could organise a location, organise a load of people to be there, all your props, all your crew, and then on the day one of your actors doesn't turn up. Well, you need to be ready to either change your story or cancel the filming or just try and film it without that person. It's going to happen. It's just the nature of the business. If you're not paying people to be there and these people aren't as keen on the project as you, not as keen, not as passionate about the project as what you are, you have to allow for things to change. So just bear in mind while writing your script, try and keep your cast to a minimum and try and write the script for the right people that you know are going to be as passionate about your project as you are. Locations are key because they're going to sell your film, so try and keep your locations to a bare minimum. But try and keep in mind, if you do start writing your script and it's going a bit sort of far-fetched, try and remember that you might not be able to get the location you want, so you're going to have to try and think outside the box. Going back to a film I made a few years ago, I had a hospital scene, which no hospital was really going to let me go in there and sort of take over, so I had to come up with a way of trying to make the scene look like a hospital. We pulled it off by having a very close-up shot of the actor, and he was lying on a table over here actually, with a pillow, a blanket, bandage around his head. We had some tubes coming over his nose. We kind of planted seeds to make it look like it was something it wasn't. It probably looked okay and we pulled it off, but it could have been better. One thing I found on one of my last projects I worked on, we had a sit down, we had a read through, and this was brilliant because it ironed out any issues a cast member had with what was going on. It also gave my cast and crew the opportunity to be in my head and ask me the questions they wanted to before the day shooting. And what I find is that if you don't do this, you can do it, you don't have to do it, but if you don't do it and you turn up on set, you're going to have a lot of questions thrown your way, like why is he doing this, why is he doing this? People can be quite unsure of what your idea in your head is on paper. So one thing I would say is doing a sit through, people will find it a little bit more comfortable to say why is such and such doing this on that time, where if you're doing that on a day shoot, you could only have a window of about 2 hours, so if they're asking you loads of questions, it's quite time consuming and it will eat into your filming time, which you don't really want. One thing I would say is be ready for anything and everything. Have a plan A, B, C, D, E. Probably don't need F, but if you do, something's gone wrong that day and you're going to have a headache. But be ready, so it could be one of your actors and don't turn up on time or don't turn up at all. If that's the case, while they're not there, just shoot loads of B-roll, things about little cutaway shots that you could use to fill in gaps later on. and if they don't turn up at all, you need to decide whether that scene's necessary for your story or whether you just wanted it in there for the sake of being in there. So you've got to be a bit ruthless. Another key thing is don't be afraid to ask for help. I generally try and do everything myself, so I'm like a one-man band, so I direct, I film, I do props and makeup, and make the tea, make the sandwiches, make sure everybody's happy. I'd say I've taken on too much, and the days that I do have where people come in and they help me do the makeup, or they help me with the camera work, or it just takes a massive weight off your shoulder, and it gives you the opportunity to do what you're there to do, which is direct your script. So I would say if you can, get some friends in, teach them how to use the cameras, show them what shots you want. A good idea is to probably meet up before the day of filming and just run them through with some camera angles that you like. So when they turn up on the day, they're not coming over and asking you questions, or how do I do this, or not just necessarily asking you questions. You know you can rely on them to get the shots you want, because it can be, you know, Johnny takes a camera and walks off into the woods, starts filming for you. You don't know what he's going to get, so at least if he's on the same wavelength as you, you can just, you know that he's going to go over and do that and get exactly what you're after. Make sure your lens is clean. You got to remember, most of the time this is spent in your pocket, or you're holding it while you're texting. You see what I'm doing now? I'm putting my finger on the lens. It's getting fingerprints on it, it's getting grease on it, dust on it. Just give it a quick wipe, even if it's the inside of your shirt. But I'll definitely maybe take a clean rag, like a glass cleaning rag, just to give it a bit of a wipe before you start shooting. Make sure your phone isn't full before you start filming. I've had cases before where you turn up to shoot and you haven't got enough memory to do the project that you're trying to do. So then you're running around trying to distribute some of their storage away so you can finish the project. Something I could do is take my laptop with me, and halfway through filming, while everyone's grabbing a drink or a sandwich, you could just load all your footage up. I mean, that's not a bad thing to get into anyway, just in case for some reason something happens to your phone. You don't want to turn up on set with a phone that's like 58% battery. It's not going to last to the end of the shoot. It needs to have 100% before you start, and then just let it chew through as you go along. One of the cool things that I've bought recently was a gimbal, and you can actually charge your camera through your gimbal. So things like that will help. If you haven't got a gimbal, maybe take a phone charger, battery pack, power pack, what we call them. They come in handy, and then just before everyone's having a sandwich or a cup of tea or just having a read through, you can just whack your phone and charge in between scenes. That will help you out. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe if you can, it does help me out if you could, but I'm not going to press you into doing it, so it's entirely up to you, and enjoy yourself. Cheers dudes.